Go ahead. We're here with Nancy Sanchez.
All right, here's a little song called Puerta del Sol. Encuentro el mar, encuentro la brisa, no sale el sol. Siempre voy deprisa y quiero imaginar que hay otra salida y quiero imaginar otra despedida. Mis palabras quieren dibujar un arco iris por la vida y por la sal. Mis palabras quieren dibujar un arco iris por la vida y por la sal. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir con solo eso. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir con solo eso. Yo puedo ver tus ojos sumidos, yo puedo ver tus labios parecidos, yo puedo ver tu piel transparente, yo puedo ver está en mi mente. Basta solo un día para saber la diferencia entre el azúcar y la miel. Basta solo un día para entender la diferencia entre el azúcar y la miel. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir con solo eso. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir con solo eso. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir con solo eso. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir.
All right. Thank you, Nancy, for joining us today. So you are you're a fantastic musician. You have what, 3 albums now?
I do. I have my first album. It's just self-titled. It's actually a jazz EP that I came out with in 2010. Then I have my second album. It's called Ruby in LA. It's a 13-song, all original songs in English and 1 in Spanish. And then my third album is called American Novio, and that one is primarily in Spanish. And right now I'm currently releasing singles, collaborating with a lot of other artists, and working from home in my quarantine. Welcome to my quarantine. And I'm just writing, man. I'm writing and just trying to put together my next album because I have all the time in the world right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So for other people who are maybe artists and of all kinds of stripes, what is you, since you're being so productive right now at this time, what is your secret? What's the secret to your success? How are you able to remain productive in this quarantine time?
Trying to stay positive. Like I mean, I don't know if you can relate to this, but as an artist, like you go through all these like whirlwind of emotions, of highs and lows, and I go through times where I'm like, yeah, I can do this. We're going to be okay. Society is going to be okay. And then I'm just like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And it's this like endless doom of like, we're never going to get out of this. So I'm trying to just maintain sanity with eating right as best as I can. I'm trying to exercise as much as I can because when I exercise, I feel better. And when I feel better, I'm productive. And if I feel like crap, I don't do anything. I'll binge watch Ozark all day long.
Yeah.
Or The Crown, which is really boring, but for some reason I like shiny crowns. So yeah, I'm just and you can't see, but I'm filled with like sticky notes, and I just write stuff down all day long. I'm just like writing stuff, sticking notes. Like in my refrigerator, I have this thing called, I wrote water is life, so drink a lot of it.
Yeah.
Reminding myself of stuff.
Wow.
and listening to other artists. Like this is a time to study the artists you've wanted to study the the writers, the musicians, the instrumentalists that I've been wanting to do. This is the time to do it. So little by little, I'm just kind of getting there, putting it all together.
Yeah. Well, this interview is about you, not me. But I will say, with your sticky notes, I've got a cork board. I've got sticky notes. I bought one of these giant pads with the notepads. You can kind of see right there. You said see the top of it. Yeah, I have everywhere around me are reminders of the projects I'm currently working on. So I share some of your tricks and techniques and keeping myself busy. You mentioned binge watching shows though. So one of the shows people might be binge watching right now is Vita. And were they to be binge watching Vita, what might they hear?
Oh man, the song I just played, you guys are gonna hear it on the first season of Vita. And this third season that's gonna be out. I don't think it's out yet. I think it's gonna be out next week. You guys are gonna be able to hear 3 of my songs. I wrote a song called Noches de Amor. They really like the song that I wrote on the piano. It's called Domingo Siete, and it is about that. And what else? Oh, An American Novio, of course. The title track to my album American Novio. They're gonna be able to hear that. So, and I got a little cameo in there, so I'm not gonna give too much away because I want everyone to binge watch it in this quarantine. But
right.
I do have a little cameo, and I was lucky enough to be on set with the actors, get to know the actors, and just be one of the actors. Like I got my makeup done, and I mean, it was all big thing.
Yeah. You got to eat from the craft table, and nobody.
Oh, I did that. It was an all-day thing, man. To get like 2 little scenes, like it was all day. Like I have so much respect for the producers and the actors and the writers and the camera people. Oh my goodness. And it was primarily an LGBTQ just production. Like there was a lot of womanexes in there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it was a lot of women, a lot of LGBTQ representatives, and it was really cool. It was really cool to work on. Yeah.
So what is your experience going around kind of doing these shows that are bilingual? You're singing in English, you're singing in Spanish, and I think that very much you represent a wave that's really kind of the future of this country that's just kind of being born in the last few years. That's really, I mean, like, there's been examples before, but this push that's just really seems to be like it's the cusp, it's the way, it's what's coming. So what is it like?
It's natural to me. I don't pay attention to it as much as I am now because of all these shows that are bilingual, like Gentified, like Vida, like friggin' Mayans MC, like all these Latino heavy bass shows. This whole like bilingual culture, I've already been in it, and I've been in it my whole life because I was born in Mexico. I was raised in the US. And so my life has been Spanish, English. At home, Spanish, in school, English, and with my friends and with my siblings, it's like this like Spanglish fusion. And so when I write music, I kind of allow just the energy to kind of dictate where I'm going. And I've been writing a lot in both languages. Like I have some Spanglish music, and it feels natural, and it is kind of the new wave right now. I think artists are definitely embracing it. I think it's about time. And I think Spanish and English, especially in LA, like it's just so like natural. Like I'll go anywhere, and depending on the situation, I'll start speaking Spanish, or I'll start speaking English, or I'll do both, and people understand me. And it's like just normal to do that. But in music, it's being more embraced every day, more and more. I mean, you see those, big artists like J Balvin and all those people. I don't know a lot of them, but that's an example. They're embracing that Spanglish kind of vibe, and it's so awesome. I dig it. I want more of it, and I'm writing more of it.
Yeah. Well, I think, and in the past, there definitely was like people would, primarily sing English. And they would have a Spanish album, or they would do something like that. I mean, like obviously Linda Ronstadt comes to mind, but there's other examples as well. But
She's
the
one of my idols, man.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I love Linda Ronstadt.
Oh yeah, Linda Ronstadt's great. but nowadays it seems like, but then it was really pronounced. Like this is this thing I am doing, and it's like a dramatic shift or a turn. It was an event, right? Whereas now I feel so many people are making music or doing poetry or doing whatever where they slip in and out, and it's natural. There's no event. It just is what it is. It just
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, and a lot of the younger generation, that's just their world, and they've embraced it even more. And I think it's going to be more the norm. And it should be like that. It shouldn't just be, one or the other. I mean, we're such a melting pot here that it just comes natural and it makes sense. And it's fun because sometimes if I get inspired in English, there's certain lines that I want to write that don't necessarily translate very well. And I'll write them in Spanish now. And now I just put them together, and it's like this cool, poetic, kind of artsy feel.
Yeah.
Lyric wise.
So speaking of bilingual LA culture, you work a lot now with Mark Torres and travel to Switzerland.
Yes, I do. I do.
How did that partnership come into being, and what's it been like working with Mark?
Well, Mark and I have been working together for about 4 years. He's my music manager. And, Mark's been in the scene since the 90s. He will explain to us better because he's got such a trajectory in the Latino, Latinx, Chicano music world. He's really, he really has represented a lot of independent artists. And, I met Mark because he invited me up to his show, and it was like one of my first radio interviews ever. And, I shared my music with him. He was really very cool. He embraced my sound a lot. And, he asked me if I had a manager and if I'd be willing to, consider being managed. And I said, of course. So that's where our relationship started. Really, like 4 years ago, he started managing me. And little by little, I just started getting more and more used to the idea of being in front of a microphone and going to the radio station. And a couple of times, his co-host, Mariluz, who I love, she's my best, my friend, I love her. She was primarily, and she has been primarily the co-host with Mark for this, since the 90s again. And she couldn't make a couple of gigs, and Mark called me, and I started sitting in for Mariluz, and I really liked it. I liked the idea of just having this platform in LA because KPFK is a huge platform. And God, they represent so many independent businesses, independent artists, independent just musicians, and overall, like everything independent. It's radio for the people, by the people, and I love that idea. And I like the idea of having a radio show like Travel Tips and being able to play anything we want. I mean, we primarily stick to the Latin scene a lot, and especially the indie scene here in LA or in any part, but mostly we cater to like independent artists. And I like the idea of being a part of a platform that caters and that helps the independent artist / Latinx artist.
Yeah.
So that's how it came about, and I've been sitting in for Mariluz this whole time, especially during the quarantine. Because KPFK right now, they call it a hard lockdown. So we're on a hard lockdown, which means the DJs, the co-hosts, the hosts, they're all pretty much working from home and sending in their stuff. There's some people still working like on the boards and stuff, but for the most part, we pre-record the show right now during this COVID-19 crisis, and we send it in. So it's even more chill because we get to do it. We actually do it from my kitchen because it's, our where we meet, and it's a lot of fun. And I still get to kind of bring in all the artists that I like. La Dama from New York. We play Jimena Sariñana. All these like independent kind of indie artists in the Latin scene we like to play.
Yeah. So for the audience who might not be familiar, can you tell us a little bit about La Dama? New York, the band you just referenced?
You know what? I got hip to them from Do you know La Dama?
A little bit. I mean, I think I probably heard it on Traveltis Fratzlan, but
Yeah, no, I just got hip to them because I co-wrote a song with one of the singers from La Dama. It's her name's Sarah, and we just co-wrote a song together, and she got me hip to her band, and so we played her, and so really whatever we discover along the way, we just love to embrace and we play.
yeah.
But just one example of the songs the artists that we promote and embrace. So yeah.
So other than yourself, who are some artists that people around town should be checking out?
Yeah, man. Okay, well,
including yourself, but also
me number one. I'm kidding.
Oh.
You guys, you guys should check out Francisca Valenzuela. A lot of the Criteria artists that I follow, I love. You guys should check out Flor de Toloache. If you like, they're the New York fusion all-female mariachi band, Flor de Toloache. And the song and the song that I sang earlier, actually I collaborated with them on. So we're going to be releasing a music video with them. And they're such like chingona female, just in your face powerhouses from New York. And you guys should check them out. Of course, all my homies, Ali J, the Mexican Standoff. I know there's more. Maria Blues. My goodness. I know a lot more, but can't seem to think of anybody.
I mean, that's what the show's for, right? So, can you play us another song?
Yes, I can. Let's see. Okay, this is, let's see. I want to play Domingo Siete, and usually I play that one on the piano. But I'm going to translate it on guitar, okay? Right. If I messed up, apologies. But this is called Domingo Siete. I wrote this song because Domingo Siete is a phrase that Latina moms tell their daughters. Like, no me vayas a salir con tu Domingo Siete, okay? Which means don't get pregnant, okay? And I thought that was such a funny phrase. And so I really wanted to kind of tell a story about a girl that, you know, she comes out with her Domingo Siete. She ends up getting pregnant at a very young age, and she doesn't get to have a quinceañera. Instead, she has to tell her mom that, my bad, I'm pregnant. Okay, so it's called Domingo Siete, and this is the story of young Maritza. Marisa no está loca, tiene hambre, tiene sed, está un poquito confundida, quiere leche con café. Todos los hombres del barrio la quisieran conocer. Marisa está bien bonita, pero no sabe qué hacer. Solo tiene ojos para el mero cantinero de la calle. Le dice mira Matito porque está un poquito loquito. Ya no quiere quinceañera, ya no quiere fiesta, ya no quiere party. Se la pasa con Vanessa, de Milano se la seca, no me vayas a salir, gritaba su mamá, con ese Domingo siete, no me vayas a salir, gritaba su mamá, con ese Domingo siete. Una noche de verano, Marisa se escapó Se fue con el batito, a ninguno le importó. Con los ángeles del cielo, con la mota y el sudor, se acercaron en la calle, junto del retrovisor. Solo tiene ojos para el mero, mero cantinero de la calle. Le dice el batito porque es un poquito loquito. Ya no quiere quinceañera, ya no quiere fiesta, ya no quiere parir. Se la pasa con Vanessa, depilándose la ceja, no me vayas a salir. Gritaba su mamá con ese domingo 7. No me vayas a salir. Gritaba su mamá con ese domingo 7. 4 semanas después se enteró que iba a tener, que iba a parir un hijo, pero el erobatito no quería nada que ver. Ahora, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Eres todavía un bebé. Yo tengo a tus hermanitos y todavía están chiquitos y me piden de comer, de comer. Solo tienes para el mero, mero catinero de la calle. Le dice el batito porque es un poquito loquito. Ya no quiere que se llena, ya no quiere que está, ya no quiere parir. Se la pasa con la mesa, depilándose las cejas. Solo tiene ojos para el mero, mero cantinero de la calle. Le dice el batito porque es un poquito loquito. Ya no quiere que se llena, ya no quiere fiesta, ya no quiere parir. Se la pasa con la mesa, depilándose las cejas. No me vayas a salir, gritaba su mamá con ese domingo 7. No me vayas a salir, gritaba su mamá con ese domingo 7. No me vayas a salir, gritaba su mamá con ese domingo. No me vayas a salir, gritaba su mamá con ese domingo 7.
That was extraordinary. That was incredible.
That's a deal. You're awesome. Thank you.
Wow, that
was wild in my living room.
Yeah, and the crowd go encore, otra. So we have a question from the audience from Karina, who asks, "Hi Nancy, do you write music before the lyrics or vice versa?" Goes on to say, "I love your music. Thank you for playing for us."
Oh, well, thank you for your question. You know what? It depends. I like writing the music first and then the lyrics. Personally, I've finally figured myself out, but it really depends on how I start the song and the vibe of what I'm feeling and what I'm trying to get. Sometimes, and this is most likely what happens, I do it simultaneously. If for instance, I came up with this little riff that I came up with that first, but then I added the lyrics and melody to that. I think I came up with the melody on this one first, so I was like, and then I added lyrics. But I've done the opposite as well. Yeah.
So that little trick you do when you speed up and you're like, and you start talking and saying like things so fast. I've heard that in so much, like a lot of music, a lot of contemporary music coming out of Mexico. That kind of I don't know, there's a style to it. I mean, it's just very unique. It's very different. So you think, I mean, are you very influenced by music from Mexico, from the background and influences?
I'm influenced by a lot of singer-songwriters, especially Mexican singer-songwriters. Like, I'm entirely in love with Julieta Venegas and Natalia Lafourcade. But I love the new artists that are coming out right now. Like I like Vanessa Zamora a lot. And oh my gosh, there's and of course Gabby Moreno, but Gabby Moreno is here in Los Angeles. And there's a lot more. But yeah, I'm definitely influenced by Mexican artists and Mexican singer-songwriters. Jose Alfredo Jimenez, I mean, he's the father of mariachi, I think, songwriting. And of course here in LA, I love Lalo Guerrero. Who doesn't? And yeah, yeah. I mean that little da 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 da. Um, this is my trick. Are you ready? What for my trick?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm right here. Yeah.
I love I love like one or two chords in a song. Like the more chords a song has, the more intricate the melody can get. But for me, if I can just riff on a D minor, this is just a D minor riff. On the same note, I can say whatever I want on the same note.
You heard it here. Those are the tricks of the trade. I love it. I love it.
For me, you're welcome, singer-songwriters out there. But you know, there's so many options. I mean, there's so many options for songwriting, which is why I love songwriting. I actually love. I'm gonna say I love songwriting a little bit more than performing sometimes, because I can just be free with songwriting, and sometimes when I have to perform, I have to remember my lyrics. I have to remember the chords. That's when it gets tricky. For
eye contact. You know, what do I do with my hands if I don't play time?
I pull on a show. I wish it could be like all my shows could be like I could be in my cat shirt, as you can see, and in my sarape and in my kitchen. I mean that those are the best shows.
Yeah. But when you sped up like that, it reminded me so much of this one song. It's like a duet, and I'm not nearly as well versed as you on the host, but it's with oh, my mind's drawing a blank. He recently passed away. Not recently, a couple years ago. The really famous guy. He was
Juan Gabriel.
Juan Gabriel and Natalia. They had a song together. You know that?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know it off the top of my head what it's called, but that duet was beautiful. And he did a lot of duets. He did a lot of duets before he passed, but I think that one was one of my favorite.
Yeah. But it started off and they're singing back and forth, and all of a sudden they start speeding up and they're going back and forth, and it's like,
yes.
Oh, it's so incredible. It's so incredible.
Yeah. She's an incredible singer as well. I think she's very unique, and I think that's what I strive for. I love unique artists. Oh my God, Fiona Apple. I love Fiona Apple, and she just came up with an album yesterday, I think, or today. I can't wait to listen to it.
I heard it was coming out. Okay, well, yeah.
It's out, my friend. It's out. Let's listen, and then let's talk about it. But I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I don't know. No, I say you have your own unique take. So I don't mean to keep comparing to other people. But I'm just, when you did that, I could feel. It just felt like I had heard that before, but the only other people I heard doing anything similar to that were Mexican. And so hearing you say that made me feel really proud for a moment. I couldn't explain why. I was just like, yeah, see,
I don't mind. You know what? I don't mind being compared at all, because I think being an original artist means really being influenced by a lot of people and really embracing the sounds that you like, and learning from those artists, and then kind of not copying them. That's not what I'm trying to say, but more like making it your own, learning from different artists. And I think I learned that as a songwriter, I apply it, but I learned that as a student of jazz, because in jazz, you learn from the greats. As a jazz singer, like, you want to know who Ella Fitzgerald is, Sarah Vaughan. I love Nancy Wilson. And you like learn from these artists. You kind of get to the point where you kind of mimic these artists, and then you create your own unique style. So
yeah. Well, also speaking about collaborations and etc. So you yourself have done a number of collaborations. You have another one coming up with a gentleman that our audience might be familiar with. Um, you want to talk about that?
Yes. Okay, so I wrote a song with who's also my partner, Joaquin Pacheco. We collaborated on a song. He came up with this beat, and I came up with this like top line melody, and then I came up with lyrics. And I was very heavily inspired by just our indigenous cultures, and specifically the Aztec, like the Aztec world, because I had just gone to Mexico City. I went to El Museo de Antropología. I went to the pyramids, and I came back so inspired by that the lyrics and the idea of this song came out,
Mm-hmm.
and I entitled it Gran Civilización because the idea of this great civilization that existed, and we are still here. Like one of the lines says, "Lo que brilló en el pasado nunca deja de brillar." What shined in the past will never stop shining. And I feel like we are these descendants of like beautiful indigenous nations, and we're mestizos, we're indigenous, and we might live in California or New York or in, wherever. Obviously, I need to travel more. Iceland. But at the same time, I'm like, there's other countries. At the same time, we're like all connected by this spirit, this like indigenous connection, and so I wanted to kind of pay tribute to that. So I called it Gran Civilización, and it was kind of a short song, and I wanted to expand on the idea, and I wanted to collaborate. So actually, Mark brought Olmeca to the table. He said, "Well, have you met Olmeca? He's LA, based MC, and he's very into our indigenous just identities. He's just such a well-versed artist, and he knows how to express himself so well. This is why interviews with him are much easier, because I'm just like, Olmeca, talk, and he'll just like explain the history of our ancestors, like our everything, and he's just so well versed. But I checked out his music, and I was so blown away. His latest album, it's self-produced, and he wrote it, and it's just like, it's beautiful. He's such an intricate MC, and I called him, we connected, we sent him the song, and he loved it, and he said, yeah, of course, and he wrote his lyrics to the song. We finished the song, we put it out, I think a couple weeks ago now. We're in quarantine, so I don't even know what day it is. Everything's kind of like blended together,
Yeah.
And
I know something called Friday because I had things to do on this thing called Friday, and I'm doing them. So it's
boom.
Friday.
It's Friday today because you have things.
Things to do on Friday, which I've done. Yeah.
And so we came together. We put out the song, and right now I'm gonna start promoting in the next couple days a little lyric kind of visual video that we put together, and it's gonna be out because when you put out music, you gotta have some kind of visual because people want to see. People are listening, but they're also watching music now. Yeah. So we did a little collaboration music video, which we're going to be putting out on the 24th, which is next Friday.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Friday, you have something to do. Yeah.
Yes, and it's called Gran Civilización. Please check it out. It's on all streaming platforms. It's on Apple Music. It's on Pandora. It's on Spotify. And I'm very, very proud of the song. I wish I had Olmeca here to help me sing the song, but I'll sing a little bit of it, just like my parts, just so you can get like a little flavor of the song, not the whole. Okay. Síguele, síguele, el conejo te va a alcanzar, córrele, córrele, a casar. No te escondes. Tú no le tienes miedo a nada. Vienes de una gran civilización, descendiente del azteca, de la gran Tenochtitlán. No te olvides de la raíz ancestral. Lo que brilló en el pasado nunca deja de brillar. Vienes de una gran civilización, descendiente del azteca, de la gran Tenochtitlán. No te olvides de la raíz ancestral. Lo que brilló en el pasado nunca deja de brillar. Nunca deja de brillar. Nunca deja de brillar. Lo que brilló en el pasado nunca deja de brillar. Nunca deja de brillar. Nunca deja de brillar. Lo que brilló en el pasado nunca deja de brillar.
Okay, Nancy, so we have a question here. Nancy, do you have a website, and what is your last name? So I guess they've just joined the chat or joined.
Yes. My last name is Sanchez. So my name is Nancy Sanchez. I got people coming in. I'm live. And and my website is Nancy Sanchez Music. You guys can find me on Spotify, on Instagram, and of course, you can follow me on my Facebook.
Okay, so that's the answer to that. That was a beautiful snippet.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, yes, I hope everybody can check it out, and the video will be out on the 24th.
Okay. Are you gonna do another song?
I'm thinking about it. Let me see.
Okay.
Me agarraste desprevenida. Okay. This is one that I have on my first album. Actually, on my second album. It's called Sunny Day because I can't wait to go like outside. I want to go to the beach, and I want it to be a beautiful sunny day. And all I dream about now are sunny days in my life. So here we go. Sunny day, windy day. It seems I love you more today than yesterday. Cause when we are apart, I can't sleep in the dark, and I hope that everybody stays awake. But if they don't, will you look for me and keep me from the cold? Will you love me until the day we're old? Will you give me sweet caresses, baby? And tell me that you'll be my man, be my man. From the corner of my eyes, I can see you smiling. Won't you tell me that you'll be my man, be my man? And I will be your woman to give you everything I can. And I will be your woman to give you everything I can. But if they don't, will you look for me and keep me from the cold? Will you love me until the day we're old? Will you give me sweet caresses, baby? And tell me that you'll be my man. From the corner of my eyes, I can see you smiling. And won't you tell me that you'll be my man? And I will be your woman to give you everything I can. And I will be your woman to give you everything I can. And I will be your woman to give you everything I can.
All right. So you got some compliments here. You got one from Karina, who full disclosure, that's my sweetie, and you got some hearts from Melinda or some roses. No hearts, yes.
Oh, thank you guys. Well, yeah, thank you for inviting me on this Friday.
Yeah, this definitely Friday because
It's
otherwise I interviewed all the wrong people.
and it's interesting to do these like Facebook lives, Instagram lives. We're like living in a different era right now. Like I knew that we had access to these platforms, but this pandemic has really forced me to really access and embrace technology in this way. And I think we are going through a crazy time, but we're lucky that we have that we can still stay connected through social media and through technology with our loved ones and share our music with everybody. Yeah.
I definitely think that what we're doing now, aspects of it, even after the pandemic's over, we
Mhm.
should definitely maintain. I mean, like the fact that
Yeah.
you and I were talking, this is pretty easy because we're both in LA,
Yeah.
but like I was able to interview someone in Oakland. I've done some people from New York. I'm all over the place where distance doesn't mean anything.
Absolutely. I think, and let me know what you think about this, but everyone's saying, "Oh, we can't wait to get back to normal." But I think that we're not entirely going to go back to normal. I think that this has been such a collective kind of awakening, and it's a little traumatizing, and it's been a collective trauma. And I think that we're in, at least for me, I'm done with handshakes. I'm gonna start bowing, and I'm gonna start doing this from now on. And
Live long and prosper, yeah.
and I'm gonna think twice. Like, am I gonna go to that concert where there's like millions of people without a mask? Like, I think masks are gonna stay around for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and I think slowly we're gonna build up to feeling comfortable again with large groups of people. But I think we're pretty shaken up right now because of all this.
Well, so yeah, I'm a Chicano dude, so I'm gonna have to learn how to do like more intricate elbow bumps or something. You know, what I mean, like like it can't just be that. I mean, because I don't just shake hands. I mean, like do the whole this. So I gotta like learn how to like ba. Do some kind of
We have to get creative. We gotta
yeah,
get
yeah,
creative with our eyes.
yeah, some kind of creative greeting that mimics fighting.
Yeah,
Is what I need to learn. But
yeah.
no, I think so. I think the concert. So that's the kind of sad thing because I think you're right. I think that like people are gonna second guess giant sporting events, giant concerts, giant gatherings for a good long while. I think long after we're able to get back out there and go to restaurants, we're still not going to be wanting to go to see be in a giant place with 10,000 people. That's
Yeah.
gonna be a while.
I don't think people are going to feel comfortable unless everybody's wearing masks. But I mean, they've already told us that concerts might be even postponed until 2021. Like sporting events and big concerts like that are probably not going to happen, which I'm kind of bummed because I usually go to the Hollywood Bowl every summer because it's so much fun. And I don't know if that's going to happen this year. So, yeah, things
Yeah.
change for sure.
But in a way, we're able to do these things right now, and like I would say that right now, like what you and I are doing is no different than what John Legend did when he like put himself on. It's just yeah, he's still winning, but like we can work our way up.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we are living in a time where any artist, like whether you're at the top of your, popularity game or you're barely starting, like we all have access to these free platforms where
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can build your career through. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah. Like, well, it was another one. Springsteen, he put on one. There's been a number of people that have put on.
Have you been enjoying all the concerts online? Because sometimes I have to go like on Instagram breaks because everybody's online at the same time, and it's like,
Yeah, no, I haven't seen any of the concerts online to be honest with you, but like I know that I'm aware that they're happening, but
yeah,
like I'm so like driven and determined to do what I'm doing that takes up my time. And then so last I'd say like the last 2 weeks I was so determined to like write all this stuff. And then after that I got sick of myself. And so now I've become like compulsively interviewing people. So I hear other people talk.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was telling one of my friends that like I started with I'm gonna write a full album, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and like it's going by kind of fast, but it's going by in a weird kind of no time way that it's really important to just kind of have a schedule and really have goals of what you're going to do even in that day. Like, what am I going to do this morning? Otherwise, se te va el día, the day just goes by and yeah, and you don't get anything done, which is what happens to me.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're getting a lot done. You've got a lot done these last couple of years, and it sounds like you're going to get a lot done the next couple of years. So, congratulations on those successes and good luck with the ones coming. So it sounds like you got a lot on your plate.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Well, I mean, I have this collaboration. I hope everybody can check it out. It's called Gran Civilización, featuring my homie Olmeca. And maybe you should, you know what? You should reach out to Olmeca. He's a good one to have on here. Also, he's very knowledgeable and he's doing a lot of things too. So yeah, I'm just keep checking out what I'm doing. I do have a couple more collaborations that I am cooking right now, and I was just on the phone with somebody earlier before I did this, and one of the cool things about technology is that I get to songwrite with people from all over the place. So I just collaborated with Sarah from La Dama in New York, and right now I'm collaborating with Jessica Medina, who's a wonderful jazz singer in New York, and we're songwriting together, and it's very satisfying to be able to collaborate from far away like that.
Yeah, one of the acts you've mentioned, actually, I believe they were on Tiny Desk, right? The mariachis from New York.
Oh yeah, that's Flor de Toloache. Yeah, they were on Tiny Desk. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Nancy Sanchez, Tiny Desk. Nancy, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, and they just, I mean, they're doing so good too. They just collaborated with John Legend.
Wow. Legend. Yeah, speaking of, yeah.
Yeah. A John Legend, a song with him in Spanish, and he sings in Spanish, which is, I don't think I've heard John Legend sing in Spanish. Have you?
No, but see, that's what I'm talking about. See, it's not just us. It's also like other people who maybe don't come from a Spanish-speaking background. Or maybe he does. I don't know. But Justin Bieber speaking Spanish and Beyonce speaking Spanish and all kinds of other. Just everybody is I don't know. In like 20, 30 years, I think Spanglish is going to be the national language, and we're kind of like, or definitely a sub. You know what I mean? Like, and we're kind of in the beginnings of that, where it's becoming pretty normal. I think that's really exciting. You're a part of it, so that's
yeah.
Exciting.
The music market, like the Latin market, is pretty big. I mean, it's very big. So it's actually in their convenience to collaborate with Latin artists. Like, I'm so glad that he collaborated with Toloache because it opens doors for Toloache, for Flor, but it also opens doors for John Legend. You get to hear him in a different setting, a different language. Like it's pretty cool to hear artists like that, like Beyonce, embracing that too.
Yeah. So
great heads.
Great. So okay. So look, check out for Nancy Sanchez's future work. Binge watch Vita and see Nancy singing songs and hear her work and tune in to Travel Tis Fraslan.
Absolutely. Saturday nights, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. on 90.7 FM KPFK.
Any other plugs?
I'm sorry?
Any other plugs?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Please follow me on Instagram, on Spotify. I have all my music's on Spotify, and you can stream everything I've done, all my collaborations on Spotify, and just everything is pretty much Nancy Sanchez music. So check it out.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, Nancy Sanchez. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'm sure we'll see each other on the web.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.